Narito ang mga dapat mong malaman kung nag-uumpisa ka palang mag-aral ng Hangul. Umpisahan mo sa Korean alphabet at kung paano isulat at basahin. Para lang yang mga kindergarten na nag-uumpisang mag-aral. Kapag kabisado mo na ang pagsulat at pagbasa ng Korean alphabet, sunod mong gawin ay ang pag-memorize or familiarize ng mga Korean vocabulary. Ang pinakamabisang pag-memorize or pag-familiarize ay ang paggawa ng flashcards by category. Narito ang mga dapat mong unang kabisaduhin: Korean numbers, days, months, at ang pagbasa ng oras. Ngayong maalam ka ng magbasa at sumulat ng Korean alphabet at alam mo na rin ang mga basic Korean words, ang sunod mong gawin ay ang pagko-conjugate. Napakahalagang malaman mo kung paano kino-conjugate ang Korean words kasi nagbabago ang itsura nito at maaring magbago ang meaning depende sa context ng isang sentence. Halimbawa, ang base form na gada, which means to go. Para ma-conjugate mo to sa present form, alisin mo lang ang da at ipalit mo ang yo. Kung past tense form naman, gawin mo lang na gasumnida. Napakadali lang, di ba? Siguro naman maalam ka ng mag-conjugate at alam mo na rin ang mga most common Korean particles. Ang sunod mong pag-aralan ay ang mga Korean verb ending. Napaka-importante nito sa reading at mostly maririnig mo to sa mga conversations sa listening part. Halimbawa, odudueyo at miondueyo. Ang odudueyo ay asking a permission. Kung sa Tagalog ito ay nakikiusap or humihingi ka ng permission. Opposite naman ito ng miondueyo. Ibig sabihin, ito naman ay nagbibigay ng permission. Pakinggan mo to.
이 기계를 사용해도 돼요?
아니요. 기계를 끄면 안 돼요.
Isa lamang yan sa mapapakinggan mo sa actual listening part. Siguro naman maalam ka na mag-conjugate at alam mo na rin ang mga basic Korean words na dapat mong kabisaduhin. Ang sunod mong aaralin ay ang mga Korean particles at verb ending. Sobrang dami nito at nakakalito kaya kailangan mong pagtuunan ng pansin. Para mas mapadali ang buhay mo, ang pag-aaral mo. Gumawa ako ng reviewer na makikita mo sa Google Drive. Ilan lamang ito sa mga madalas mong makita sa EPS topic questions. Halimbawa na lang ng wa, gwa, rang, irang at hago. Ito ay tinatawag na mga linking particles. Sa Ingles ito ay and. Ginagamit lang ang mga ito para pagkonektahin ang dalawang verbs, adverbs, or kahit adjectives. Ngayong alam mo na ang mga dapat mong pag-aralan, conjugations, particles, verb ending, at ang mga keywords sa questions at graph. Ang sunod mong gawin ay ipagpatuloy lang ang pagkabisado ng mga Korean vocabs. Hanggat maaari, paramihin mo ang mga nalalaman mo. Huwag mo muna pagtuunan ng pansin ang grammar at baka tuluyan ka lang mabaliw. At least 5 to 10 words ang idagdag mo araw-araw. Malaking bagay na to kesa tumunganga ka dyan. At kapag marami ka ng alam na vocabs, maaari ka ng mag-mac test. Napakalaking silbi ang pagma-mac test kasi dito ka masasanay sa pagsagot sa exam at dito mo maia-apply ang mga napag-aralan mo.
Ngayon, tuturuan naman kita kung paano sagutan ang mga tanong kagaya ng fill in the blanks, long paragraph, terminology at graph. Umpisahan natin sa fill in the blanks.
Mabilisan lang to kaya makinig ka. Pagdating sa fill in the blanks, hindi mo na kailangan pang basahin to. Rekta ka na agad na hanapin ang keywords mo. Halimbawa, ang keywords ko ay achim means morning, siksa means meal, at mogul means eat. Dito pa lang may idea ka na agad na ang hinahanap ay pagkain. Lagi mong pagaganahin ang common sense mo. At kung wala kang common sense, tawagin ang mga santo. Sunod mong alamin ay ang mga choices. Tandaan ang hinahanap natin ay klase ng pagkain. Walang ibang pagkain dito kundi ay ang pang sa Tagalog, tinapay. Maliban na lang kung kinakain mo ang bulaklak at damit. Naku, magpakonsulta ka na. Ang number 3 ay kwarto o room. Sa tingin mo kinakain yan. Paganahin mo yung utak mo, makakarating ka talaga sa North Korea. Kapag nakita mong may underline, hindi mo na kailangan pang basahin to. Hanapin mo na agad ang keyword mo para mabilis mong masagutan at makalipat sa susunod na question. Sa paghahanap ng keyword, mabilisan mo lang basahin ang buong sentence or hanapin mo lang ang word na kabisado mo. Halimbawa, ang alam ko lang dito ay ang masinun. Sa Tagalog ay inumin. Ibig sabihin, ang hinahanap dito ay bagay na iniinom. Pero kung may naiisip ka pang ibang idea, ay bahala ka na. Ngayon focus ka na sa mga choices o pagpipilian. Tandaan ang hinahanap natin ay bagay na iniinom. Sabi sa number 1 ay bull. Sa Tagalog ay apoy. Sa tingin mo iniinom ang apoy. Pero kung iniinom mo yan, edi isagot mo. Ang number 3 naman ay pera at ang 4 naman ay bato. Ikaw na iniinom ang bato at pera, edi isagot mo rin to. Walang pipigil sa'yo. Tandaan, mahalagang may alam ka kahit 2 to 3 words sa isang fill-in-the-blanks questions para masagutan mo ito. At pagkonektahin o alamin ang relasyon sa isa't isa. Kung wala talagang alam na words ay lumabas ka na lang.
Since fill in the blanks naman to, hindi mo na kailangan basahin yung question. Focus ka na agad sa sentence at tignan ang mga options or choices. Ganito una mong gawin. Hanapin mo yung Korean words na alam mo lang. For example, 건강검진 is health check-up. Tapos, 중요합니다 is important. Ito lang yung alam ko na words. So, mag-build ka ng idea. Gamitin mo yung common sense mo. Ang main topic dito is about health. So, meaning to say, ang nawawalang word ay may kinalaman sa health. Sa madaling salita, ang health check-up daw ay importante para maging malusob. Ano, nagigets po ba? Focus kasi dito kung saan-saan ka nakatingin eh. Ang tamang sagot dito ay number 4. 건강, which means health. Kasi ito lang ang may kinalaman sa health. Ngayon, alamin natin yung ibang options. Angry, pretty, sad. Ikaw na pala desisyon, isagot mo yung angry. Para sa'yo, importante daw ang health check-up kasi daw nakakagalit.
Some of us are still having trouble answering the fill in the blanks. One of the most common reason is lack of vocabs. Keep in mind that more vocabs, more chances of winning. Let's go back to our example. You may notice that this is a type of a conversation of ga and na, and the missing word is the response of na. This means we have to determine what will be the best response. Focus to the choices. As you can see, all of them are ending in got gatayo. In English, I think, or seems to be. This grammar pattern, it is used to express predictions when something seems to be like in a way which might be occurring, may have occurred, or will occur in future. For example, I think it's raining. The translation should be. Another example, I think I saw him somewhere. The translation should be. Now you already have an idea with the use of this grammar pattern. We can now be able to answer this question. If you are not good in reading the sentence or not familiar with the Korean grammar rules, I highly suggest is to just translate word by word and build an idea or thought. Another thing is to always start at the last part of the sentence. For example, many or plenty, population, much or big, by far, much or a lot, than, hometown, we, and Seoul. As you noticed, I did not include the Korean particles. I just want you to know that there is another way to understand the sentence by using each words. Now the next thing you need to do is to connect those words to the choices, and then get the main idea. The correct answer here is none other than option number 3. Since the words from the conversation are populated and much bigger, this has a big relations to the word crowded or congested. So the response of na will be, yeah, so it seems a bit congested.
You might think that this is an easy question. But look at the choices. This is confusing. If you don't know these verb ending or particles, you might get lost. Let us understand first these two types of particles before answering this question so that you will have an idea. Do you know that there are 4 different usage of nundi? The first one is to provide a situation or background information. Second is by suggesting the second phrase by giving the background details. Third, to show surprise or the word with an exclamation. Lastly, it is used as a query that seeks further information or an explanation regarding an event or behavior. I know that it is very confusing to understand, but let me tell you the easiest way. If you want to use this verb ending, you will have to remove this word. This means they are not compatible to each other to combine in one sentence. You might ask why. The reason is, this word tells the ending of the story, while this word needs to have a continuation or needs a background of the story or phrase before it is used. For example, I went to a coffee shop yesterday and I met my friend by chance. This part is what we call the background story. And this part is your main story, or what you really wanted to tell. Remember that this has a lot of usage. I highly suggest that you have to review this particle. The correct answer here is none other than number 4. This ending particles also has a lot of usage. This could be used as at, and so. But in this sentence, this particles is considered as and, because there is another verb that has mentioned, and this is the word to keep in one place. So the main thought of this sentence is, when the work is done, the tool should be organized and kept in place. I hope this makes sense.
Do you know that you can easily answer this question as long as you know the different types of the Korean verb of to wear? Let me tell you why. When it comes to fill in the blanks, I've always looked for the sentence where the blank is placed. Then I will build an idea or thought to get the correct answer. However, there is one word here that will give you a hint. And this is the word migo from the root word meta, which means to wear. This pertains by putting on or securing by way of tying to your body. Now, which one of these choices that can be tied to your body? Option 1, Option 2, Option 3, or Option 4? The correct answer here is none other than Option 1, anjonde or safety harness. Another keyword here is the first 3 words, which are nop, goseso, jack off, which the thought is the things that you can use to work up high. Does that make sense? Now, let's go back to the different types of to wear, depending on the description of the body where the item is worn. Take a look at this and make sure to add this to your reviewer. This is the question that we've received random answers. Is this confusing? Let's find out. We all know that the first sentence where the blanks is placed is easily understand. These words are common from book 1 and 2. However, you might get confused because of the choices given. Let's go back to the first sentence and try to get an idea from each words. Electric stove, to, long time, to turn on, to release or to let go, if, and lastly, fire. The next thing you need to do is to build an idea or context from these words. And here is the idea that comes to my mind. Does that make sense? Now, let's focus to the choices. The correct answer here will be option 2. Why? Because the first sentence is a conditional sentence because of if or mion. Then the sudu izumnida is a grammatical structure used to express possibility. This is equivalent in English word might be, could be. Let us share to the beginners on how we answer the fill in the blanks. When it comes to fill in the blanks, I've always focused in the sentence where the blanks is placed. Another tips, if you see the number from the sentence, this will serve as your first keyword. Why? Because number is only pertains to a, time, date, and counting. As you can see, boon is after the number. We all know that boon is counters for minutes, so this numbers is pertaining to a time. The next thing you need to do is to translate the choices given. You will have to find the word which is related to time. This is to ensure that your keyword is accurate. As you've noticed, option 3 is the only related to time. We might guess that this is already the correct answer. Now, if we use this word to this sentence, the thought here will be, if this method does not work for you, the other way for you to answer this fill in the blanks is to translate word by word. Once you are able to translate each words or some of the words, you just have to build an idea. This will work if you don't know on how to construct Korean grammar. Remember, In one sentence, you should have know at least 3 to 5 words to be able to get an idea or thought. Does that make sense? There are 3 ways when answering fill in the blanks. First, if you have lots of vocabs and you know the conjugations and Korean grammar rules. Here's how you answer this question. I bet you will read the sentence in reverse, or you will start at the last part, then analyze and build a thought. Because you can easily understand the sentence, and that is your advantage in learning Hangul. What if you only have enough vocabs but still don't know on how to understand the grammar? Because lack of conjugations, particles, and grammar rules practice. Here's how you answer this question. You will have to translate word by word and build an idea and connect it to the choices below. Now here is the best trick that I can suggest when answering the fill in the blanks. The first thing you need to do is to locate the sentence where the blanks is located. You only have to focus with this sentence and build an idea or thought. Then translate word by word. For example, fax, to send, here, first, and then Yonggi means paper. For you to get the correct answer, you will now have to translate the choices. Lastly, you will have to use your critical thinking skills or common sense. The correct answer here will be number 4. Does that make sense? I know that you've got confused with the choices given because of gu and aya. For this example, both of these words are pertaining to an action. We all know that go is a connecting particle. In this sentence, go is used to list actions or facts without time order. However, aya or oya is used to the end of clause to indicate that one must do an action. Focus to this example. Let us just assume that we know the meaning of each word, or we already have an idea or thought. The key word here will be the meon, which means if. I will tell you why. Focus to the first sentence. It says, if you're stressed or you don't sleep well, you will get headaches. As you noticed, this is a conditional statement. In English, the conditional statement always followed by a solution or an answer. Go back to the example. You may see the word in the second sentence, gurizo, which means so. This means the second sentence is just like an answer or a solution to the statement from the first sentence. Now the answer here is either number 3 or 4. We are unable to use go from 1 and 2 because this pertains to a continuous actions, while the 3 and 4 is pertain to must do an action. Now the only thing you need to do is to choose the appropriate word between these two. The correct answer here will be number 4. Here's one of the secret of EPS passers don't want to tell you. First, find the sentence where the blank is placed. For example, this is the blank and this is the sentence. We just have to focus with this sentence and the choices below. Jega, blank, talagalkayu. Jega means I and talagalkayu, or from the root word, talagada means to follow. As you noticed, this is already conjugated with a future tense. This means that we are looking to the word that describe or related to future, and this will also serve as our clue. That is why you've better know on how to conjugate with past, present, and future tenses. Now focus on the choices below. Bolso means already, ajik means yet, iljik means early, and najung-i means later. If you analyze, only later that pertains to future, and only word that fits to this sentence, and this will be the correct answer. Another way is to understand the whole scenario if that's you have enough vocabs. Here is the best way to get an idea or thought. Take a look. As you noticed, I've always start from the last word of the sentence. This is my best practice to understand Korean language. Here is our example for fill in the blanks part of exam. Let us read the first sentence. 전기가 몸으로 들어와 사람 이다치는 것을 blank, I라고 말합니다. Our keyword here will be the 전기, which means electricity, and 몸 means body. Please don't get confused, 전기가 몸으로 is not one word. This is a combination of two words, Jongi and moom. You may also encounter this in any types of questions in EPS. Tips. If you already found your keyword, then go to the choices directly and find a word that has a strong relation or connection. The first option is churak, which means fall or drop. Do you think drop and electricity is related? Nah. Number 2, gamgi means cold or flu. This is too far and wrong as well. The number 3 is gamjon, which means electric shock. This one might be the answer and much related with our keyword. Let's check number 4. It says pogbal, which means explosion. Do you think this might also correct? If you remember the keyword, yongi ga momioro, which means electricity into the body. Now you just have to use your common sense to get the correct answer. Remember this, if you don't have enough Korean vocabulary, you can't answer and you can't even pass the exam. Someone asked me, why fill in the blanks is so difficult? My answer is, nope, let's make it easy. Here is the example question. Honestly, if I saw the word aniyo, it made me smile. Why? Because we only need to find the opposite word of the subject or verb. In this example, ga mentioned the bisut hiyo, which means similar. Look at the choices and find the opposite word of similar. Here is the answer, dalayo, from the root word daruda, or to be different. Remember, if you see the word aniyo, you only need to find the opposite word of the subject or verb. Additionally, you must know on how to get the root word of the conjugated word. Take a look at this. If you are still wondering on how to get a clue or key word from the sentence, just simply get the subject, noun, and verb. This will be your hint to understand the question and what is on the choices given, because they always have a connection. In this sentence, our keyword here will be the onul, which is today, bat, which is field, and goguma, which is a sweet potato. With these keyword, you might think and ask yourself, why there is no verb? This means the blank is looking for a verb which describe what did you do today with the sweet potato. Does that make sense? Now look at the choices below. As you noticed, all of them are verbs. If you have lots of Korean verb vocabulary, you can easily answer this question. Here is the translated word in English. Think of it. What did you do today with the sweet potato, which is our key word here? Did you turn it on? Did you turn it off? Did you dig it up, or did you woke up? Here's one of the example. 저는 blank E or ga, 나빠요. 그래서 안경을 쓰지 않으면 잘 안 보여요. Our clue or keyword here will be the 안경 and 보여요, which means glasses and to see from root word 보다. Now look at the options or choices below. Make sure that you know the Korean body parts. If not, you can't answer this question. As you can see, the choices are hands, eyes, ears, and head. So what do you think will be the best answer that can connect or has a relation to our keyword? Tips. You only need to find the keyword from the question and connect it to the choices given. Great job! Now here's another example. You may answer on your own, but I will give the keyword. Tips in finding the correct keyword. Just always get the subject, noun, and verb in every sentence. I am assuming that you already know on how to get a clue or keyword. Let us read the paragraph first. 요즘 컴퓨터를 배우고 있습니다. 자격증을 blank 회사를 옮기고 싶습니다. By finding the keyword, we always look to the subject, noun, and verb from the sentence. In this example, you may see the computulul and biugu at the first sentence, but that is not our keyword. Why? Because the first sentence is already completed or ended. Now look at the second sentence where the blank or missing word is place. This means that the keyword can be found here. Take note of this. When finding a clue or keyword, you've always checked the blank or missing word first in every sentence, because the main idea will always be there that will lead you to the correct answer. Focus on the second sentence. As you noticed, the noun here will be the jagyok jung, which is certificate, then followed by blank and a comma. This means that the missing word is a verb pertaining to an object or certificate. If you know how to construct Korean grammar, you will understand the pattern. The choices below here are all verbs conjugated with the word myeon, which is if in English, and if connected to the verbs and adjectives. For example, samyeon, which means if by, and from the root word sada, or to buy. Now you already know the meaning of myeon. Are you able to recognize the root word of the three choices? Let's make it easy. Take a look at this. Great. Now focus on the second sentence. The other words here are wisalul, company, omgigo, means to move, and sipsomnida, which means want. What do you think would be the best answer or the missing word that best described the subject or certificate?